Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over some new information that we have gotten for the Outriders demo that will be coming out on February 25th. So first, they're considering this as a demo and not a beta, and I'm assuming that this is meaning this is going to be more of a final version of the game, and most likely they're not looking for as much feedback or bug reports or stuff like that as you normally would be in a beta, and it's going to be a lot more locked down, so you're not going to be able to see as much of the game as you usually would be able to see with a beta. And then next, it's entirely free, so you don't actually have to purchase the game or have the game pre-ordered to play this. So if you just want to check it out and then see if you want to buy it or pre-order it, you can go ahead and do that. I think this is pretty smart because it can allow a ton of people to just play a few hours of the game and actually see if they like playing the game instead of going and looking at a review or something like that. They do also have a release time map on their Twitter if you want to check that out, but it will be releasing at 12 Eastern time. And then the demo will be available on both new Xbox and PlayStation systems, last generation PlayStation and Xbox systems, and then it'll be on Steam and streaming on NVIDIA GeForce Now. And that's just for the demo. I'm pretty sure it's going to be available on different systems or platforms for the full release of the game. And then they have the download size. For PC, it's a minimum of 24 gigs, with it possibly being bigger after decompression. And that is essentially, it'll most likely be around 24 gigs of the actual download. And then as storage on whatever storage device it's on, it can be a little bit bigger. And for consoles, the same thing, but it's 22 gigs instead of 24 gigs. And there will be no preloading for the demo, which is pretty standard. You don't really need preloading for a demo or a beta usually. Crossplay will also be available in the demo, but it will be in a beta form, and you have to manually enable this via your settings, which is actually pretty crazy because if you guys don't know, Outriders is going to be fully crossplay enabled. So if I'm not mistaken, any system or any platform can play with any other system or platform. Xbox, PlayStation, PC, all the different platforms on PC, all of those will be able to play with each other, whether it's this generation of consoles, last generation of consoles, or whatever else. And this is one of the most interesting parts. There's no time limit for the demo, either for accessing the demo or accessing it after launch. So the demo will still be able to be played after the game is launched, which I definitely think is going to be very good for getting more people to play the game. Because if the game ends up being good, and it seems like they think it's good enough to allow people to play without buying it, this has a pretty good chance of getting more people into the game because they get to actually play it before they buy it, and playing it a little bit might also tempt them to buy it to just keep playing it. And this demo will include the game's prologue and opening chapter. This means that gear and enemies that you come across will be the early game variants. The further you get into the full story of Outriders once the game is released, pretty much the more crazy the gear and the enemies will become, which is what you would expect from any type of RPG inspired game. And the demo runs up until the showdown with Goss, the first rival altered, who may even be more dangerous than you. So it seems like that's the big end chapter boss. And then some side missions will unlock after defeating Goss, so you will be able to go back and explore more of the world. So it is pretty cool that we get like a first full chapter, and then we get to actually face the first boss. And that's interesting because a lot of the bosses are supposed to be really unique and actually challenging encounters that have a bunch of different abilities. So you can think something more like a Destiny raid boss or something like that, or like a WoW boss in terms of the different mechanics they can have. And then something else that's pretty crazy with this demo, it includes all 4 of the classes and all 6 of the character slots that you have access to in the full game. So you'll be able to have multiple of the same class as created characters at the same time. And your character levels are capped at level 7, and this will allow you to earn your class's 4 first abilities, and you'll be able to just choose whichever one of those you want to use during the demo. And this will also allow you to earn 2 skill points you can put into your skill trees. Now that's not a lot for the skill trees and the skill points, but we will be able to see the entirety of the skill trees with this. So we'll be able to go over that, and definitely a lot of people will probably start planning their builds from this demo and have a pretty good notion of what they want their builds to be when the game is actually released. and we will be able to progress up to World Tier 5. And if you don't know what World Tiers are, essentially, as you play through the game and play better, kill enemies quicker, get stronger, you'll be able to start to unlock more and more World Tiers. You essentially get World Tier XP. Once you unlock the next World Tier, you can go up to it if you want, and every World Tier increases the strength of enemies, increases the chance you get higher rarity loot, and give you some other buffs. And also says level 5 of the World Tiers, you have a higher chance to get higher rarity items, but the drop chance for legendary gear is still extremely low. Now, something that is pretty interesting with that is that we will be able to get legendary items in the demo. So most likely people will just be farming and farming and farming to get legendary items, to kind of see all the legendaries we can get, test the ones out we can get, and have a really good idea of what legendaries we're going to want to be chasing once the game comes out. Then resources will be capped at a certain generous amount in order to safeguard balancing for when you get into the main game. Resources are mainly used within our extensive crafting system, but can also be traded for better gear from the game armorers. The crafting system unlocks in the full game once you're beyond the demo content, but you can save your resources for use with that system. So essentially, in the demo, we can't use the crafting system, but it will just be unlocked right after the game is fully released. And we'll be able to build up a decent little bit of resources from the demo to use them when the game is actually released. And if you haven't caught on yet, you'll be able to transfer your project if you play the main game on the same platforms as you played the demo. So it's PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. And then for PC, you won't be able to transfer progress on Steam to the Epic Store. So if you play on Steam, you won't be able to then go buy the full game on the Epic Store and get your progress. So it essentially means everything you do in the demo is permanent for the main game. So you can go get all 4 classes up to level 7, max out the resources that we're able to get in the demo on all those characters, and get a bunch of legendary and the best gear you can get at level 7, and have that all ready to go once the game is fully released. And then there's going to be no achievements or trophies or anything like that until the main game is released. And if you get the main game, anything like that you would have earned in the demo, you will then unlock once you have the main game. And there's no NDA, so you're able to stream, make videos on the game as much as you want. But they're also saying to be careful because there's a trailer at the end of the demo, and that has licensed music in it. So I wouldn't recommend putting that demo on YouTube or streaming it or anything like that. So that's all the information we got about the demo, and this is actually pretty crazy. Most games that come out, whether they have a beta or an alpha or anything like that, usually don't have progress that's saved over, and it's pretty rare to get any game that comes out that has a demo, because when I was a kid, pretty much every game that would come out would have a demo. You'd be able to get demo discs in different magazines and stuff like that, or if you would be able to download demos. And demos are essentially just you being able to have a little bit of playtime in the game of what essentially is the full release game, and be able to play a little bit of that, essentially for that company to try to entice you into buying the game because you already have played the game yourself. So you're able to see if you want to go and buy the full version of the game. And it's pretty crazy how transparent they're being with this, and how much stuff they're allowing us to get and earn from a demo that is carrying over that progress into the main game. So that is all pretty cool in my opinion. So subscribe if you want to see more Outriders or other videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about Outriders and the upcoming demo. And thanks for watching.